Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's December 29th, 2021. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we discuss the news of the day and the fact that his mom is stuck out on his patio and will not come in the house.
I
don't know what's more important, our stories today or your mom being stuck on the patio, but
she had about as good a chance of playing in the bowl game as coming in the house. How would that? I'm not saying it right. The Hurricanes had as good a chance of playing in the bowl game as she did of coming in the house. I guess it's the same issue. She doesn't want to come in. One of my sons had a sleepover last night. You know, my mom's here. My dad's a biologist, literally a biologist. He worked with Watson, the Watson of Watson and Crick. He's a virologist. So they're out on the deck. My son, leaves the house yesterday, and they're like, "Where are you going?" He says, "Oh, I'm going to a sleepover." My son was a freshman in college. They're like, "Where are you?"
Brown wants to make sure
he comes home today. Yeah, he comes home today, and they're staying outside on my deck, obviously, sleeping at a place they rented. And they say to him, "How was your sleepover?" He's like, "It was great." And they said, and I said to him, "Where'd you sleep?" He said, "I shared a bed with one of my friends." And they said, "Wait a minute, you were in the same bed with another kid?" And he's like, "Yeah, but we slept facing opposite directions." Like, this is how the teenage mind works. Like, he thinks that he can't get COVID as long as somebody's not literally breathing in his face.
Hey,
so maybe he's right. Maybe he's maybe he's the biologist of the family. Maybe he actually understands how this works.
My wife loves these vanilla ice desserts, so I just went to the vanilla ice place to get her dessert, and the girl working the vanilla ice thing says, "All my friends have COVID. They all went to a karaoke party a couple nights ago. Everybody has COVID." I'm thinking to myself, like, what is everybody thinking? But anyway, I don't know what I'm more disturbed about, your poor mom being stuck out on the patio on her trip to Florida, or I'm not going to get off on a tangent again about the stone crabs that are being left dismembered.
Listen, nobody wants to. Everybody. I don't know if people want to hear about this stuff.
No, they don't. They want us to get to
stuff.
We're going to get yelled at in the comments on YouTube. We're already 2 minutes in, and we haven't gotten to the news of the day. So
they don't want to hear about our lives anymore. They're sick of our lives.
I'm going to be real disciplined. We're going to be real disciplined today. We're going to talk about the news of the day, and let's start with Tyrique Stevenson. We got our Tyrique Stevenson blog. You guys know Tyrique's been with us all season. We've been basically chronicling his life since August, and it's been pretty interesting, quite honestly. And Tyrique right now is balancing whether to come back or to go in the NFL draft. And Matt, I personally know where I would vote. I don't like his prospects of being picked real high in the NFL draft right now. I think he could use another year of work. Might be a swing corner safety at the next level. A lot of people think he's really a safety. He's needed a cornerback here. So Tyrique, seems to be going through a little bit of a struggle making the decision. I think ultimately he will decide to come back. I think that he's a great candidate for good NIL deals this next year. He'll be the leader of the defense. He's established now on the Hurricane football team. I think there's going to be an effort to amp up NIL for some of the key players on the team, and he should be a beneficiary of that. So you put it all together, Matt, I say Tyrique Stevenson should come back and be a Miami Hurricane. Your thoughts?
There's something weird going on here. So just, I don't know if people care about this stuff. We normally do Tyrique in person. Usually Gary or I go out, meet him at UM, and we film it. We film him. He talks to us in person, and he's great. He's great. This time, because the team has COVID, we're like, Gary and I are like, you know what? We'll just do it over the phone. And it was fine. Gary and I both talked to him over the phone on a conference call, and it was great. I don't know if it was because we're in person versus on the phone or whatever. Like, normally Tyrique is, I don't know if eloquent's the right word, but he's wordy. He'll talk a lot. This was very abrupt. He had no interest.
He was more reserved over the phone. No question. Much more reserved over the phone.
If Mario's calling you want to take a minute and answer Mario's question?
No, my phone's going crazy here. It's Fox Sports or something. I don't know. But anyway.
At this time of the morning? Anyway. So, so with that said, like, my point is Tyrique did not really want to talk about this at all. He was very, very brusque is the word, I guess, for those of you that are English majors. BRUSQUE. You can look it up for those of you that aren't English majors. And the reason I'm concerned is because everything I had heard from people around Tyrique, just really even a week ago, including Mike Harley, by the way, in his blog, was Tyrique's coming back. Tyrique's coming back. He told me he's coming back. He's 100% coming back. And then talking to Tyrique, somebody's gotten in his ear. And it bothered me a little bit, and it's not Mario Cristobal's fault, but it bothered me a little bit that when we asked him, have you had a chance to talk about Coach Cristobal? Because obviously that's going to have a big piece. Coach Cristobal's plan for the defense and plan for Tyrique has to be a big factor in this. And the fact that, Tyrique said basically other than introductions, he has not had a chance to talk to Mario, which is fine because, Mario's got a lot going on. And he probably needs to hire, honestly, a defense coordinator anyway before he could have that conversation with Tyrique. But you have to think Mario knows how badly he needs Tyrique back. You think he would be on Tyrique like nonstop, like, listen, I don't care what this agent's telling you through this friend of your family or whatever the hell goes on with
Christmas, in fairness. I mean,
right, correct. But like Mario needs to
flying back and forth across the country. He's doing every job in the football program.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. You don't need to be a Mario defender. I'm about to say.
No, I'm just saying.
Mario's got a lot going on, but I don't know that Mario is going to realize until he reads this blog that he needs to recruit Tyrique Stevenson like he's a high school kid all over again. I think Mario's like us. We started this interview. We were assuming Tyrique's coming back. We literally were.
Well, he was talking like he was coming back.
We're like, so why did you decide to? Why did you decide to? Because we heard from everybody. Like, so Tyrique, why did you decide to come back? I am not coming back. It's 50-50. I'm waiting for my NFL grade. I'm talking to different people, hearing different things. Something's going on because there's no reason why he couldn't have already said, yeah, I'm coming back. Like, there's something going on. And it's going to be on Mario to really sort of hone in on this and explain in black and white terms what you said, which is probably why it's best for him to come back. They need to get an NIL deal in place for Tyrique ASAP. Because you know what these agents do, and I've said it before, and I don't know if I've said it on this show before, but what agents tell these kids is it doesn't matter if you're drafted in the 5th round, 6th round, or 2nd round. Your money is coming in your second contract. And the sooner you start your clock on that second contract, that's where the big money is. Why do you want to wait another year? That's one less year you're going to be in the NFL. The NFL doesn't want 30-year-old cornerbacks. Right now, you get in the NFL, you get an extra paycheck in the NFL, and you start your clock on that major second paycheck once you prove yourself, blah, 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 blah. That's what the agents sell these kids on. And I don't think fans realize that. Fans just think, oh, he's a 5th rounder, he'll never leave. The agents aren't telling the kids that. They're saying, you've got to start your clock now in the NFL. So after your first 3 years, that 4th year, you get the big money, man. That's where the money's at. And I will tell you, Tyrique, I know Tyrique well. He does need money. Some kids, their families are doing fine. They don't need money. Tyrique's not in that situation. Tyrique's even told us flat out, like, he's doing this for his sisters. He's doing this for his mom. This is not for Tyrique. Tyrique literally says, I am sacrificing my life. I am sacrificing my body. I know I'm not going to be able to walk at the age of 50 because of all the stuff that I'm putting my body through for my sisters and my family. And if you don't think that he's going to the NFL, if Mario doesn't get him Mario can't get the NIL deal, but if Miami boosters, I don't know who it would be, some sort of company can't get him an NIL deal for 6 figures, I honestly think at this point he'll go to the NFL. He needs an NIL deal, a big NIL deal. So whoever's listening out there that has a company and a lot of money, that
put Tyrique Stevenson on your NIL list.
Yeah, put him on your list. I mean,
and he needs to come back. He's not ready for the NFL yet. I don't.
He's
think.
not. But Gary, again, it's not the second.
Tyrique fan. He needs another year as a corner.
You keep saying guys aren't ready. Guys go out year after year who aren't ready, and they know they're not ready. They're going out for the second contract. You can't keep saying they're not ready. They're not ready.
How many of them don't get through the first contract? Like think about all these guys that have left early. Like, where's Joe Yearby now? Where's McIntosh now? Is McIntosh in the league?
RJ,
still?
he made money with the Giants, man. Yeah, he reached that second contract.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess it works out for some of them, but there's I don't want to just start throwing guys out because I haven't really processed it. But I think Tyrique would be a mid to late round draft pick right now, and maybe with 100%. A good year next year, he could do better than that. So you'll read the Tyrique Stevenson blog today. It's very interesting. He talks about a lot of different things. He likes the idea of being a team leader next year. I think that he had a very physical season this year. And, amping himself up to do that all over again, as opposed to going to the pros. I'm sure he's going back and forth on it. So we'll see what happens with Tyrique Stevenson, but his blog's on the website today. Yesterday we brought you 3 under the radar offensive players that need to step up next year. Today we bring you 3 defensive players that need to step up. And, Matt, it was kind of hard to isolate down to three. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys on that defense that need to step up. I don't want to give away the three because that'll spoil the story, but I think the defense in general has a lot of guys that need to step up this year.
It's funny you say that because when we did the three offensive, it was like obvious. Like, here's the three offensive guys. There's really only three. Like, you could have picked DJ Scaife, but DJ Scaife's already had so many opportunities. Like, he's not an under the radar guy. So right. Like it was pretty easy to pick those three. On defense, you're right. It could have been like 10 guys because there's so many opportunities at defensive line, at linebacker, and at cornerback for a young guy to like shine through this year because those positions were so bad. And like picking three, like when you guys look at the list, like the person we picked for number one easily could just not have even made the list. Like you could just, it was almost like throwing darts. You could pick 10, 15 guys and just throw darts and you could make a case for any of those 10 or 15 guys to be on the list. I mean, I feel pretty good that really, I think two of the three, and I can't say the names, but I really think two of the three will really be standouts this year. Number two, for sure, on the list is going to have a great year, in my opinion.
I think number one, for sure.
He's primed for greatness. The guy who's number one on the list, I'm not so sure. I actually think number two and number three have a better chance than number one. As weird as that sounds, but
I think number one's going to step up, but we'll see.
I think all three will. I think all three will, but I just think with number one, I think they're bringing transfers there. That's why I'm a little hesitant on number one. That's all.
But it's it's a nice thing to look forward to. Just who might step up in spring practice, and a lot will depend on who the coaches are and how they interact with the coaches and. Mario Cristobal's staff hopefully will start coming together here in the next few days, maybe right after the first of the year when some of these bowl games are over. And if it's an NFL guy, obviously they got to get through 2 more weeks of the NFL season. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Recruiting as always with Cristobal in the head coach's office. Matt, the theme to me is Miami is not just looking at South Florida. Every day we're reporting on guys from around the country who are on the Miami radar now with Cristobal. And I think we got to remember when he was at Oregon, it would have been last year, he recruited the top player in 9 different states. This is a guy that was not afraid to get on an airplane. Okay. He got the NetJet deal or whatever, however they're organizing it as part of his contract and new job at Miami for a reason. And that's because he needs to be able to get on planes and go places. And, today we talked to a 4-star linebacker from Pittsburgh, for example, Tamir Robinson, who is being recruited right now by Miami. We talk about a former Oregon commit again, 4-star David Iuli. We reported first on him last week. Got another story on him today. He's an out-of-town guy that's being heavily recruited by Miami. But that doesn't mean, Matt, that they're totally going to forget about Dade County. And I know how you feel about they got to, focus a lot on the local kids. And I think they will. I think that those kids are a lot easier to recruit when you have a coaching staff in place because they can come by the school and meet the coaches. And I think we'll see a lot of that going on in January. But we have a story today on a local 4-star running back who actually was offered by the old staff, Matt. And now he's been offered by the new staff, and that's Ryan Bullard from Miami Killian. You have any early thoughts on him?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure he's actually been offered by the new staff. They just, basically what happened is Mario went to Killian and he said, this is one of the kids we're going to be recruiting. And he did have an offer. I mean, look, he says he still has an offer from Miami, but like, it's so early. There's no coordinator. There's no running backs coach. Like, we just got to wait. Like they're offering some kids at different positions, but not many. It's mostly been offensive line offers that have still been going out. There's some linebacker, defensive line offers, but that's about it at this point. So, the offensive offers, the re-offers haven't been as plentiful on offense other than the offensive line. What I would just tell everyone to keep an eye out for, is that January 2nd Elite Prospect Day. That's going to be a big opportunity for us to finally hone in on not just who Miami wants. We know who they want is the kids they're offering, all the local studs, but also who has reciprocal interest. The kids that don't come locally, the kids that don't come from out of state for this first chance to really get a sense of I'm not calling it the new Miami, the old Miami, to get a sense of the old Miami. Those are the kids we know are interested, right? We're going to know right off the bat, like this kid was so excited from Pennsylvania or wherever that he hopped on a plane and he came down just for this January weekend, paid his own way down here. Like those out-of-state kids, those kids from Jacksonville who drive down, from Orlando that drive down, that shows their interest level. And of course, you want all the local kids to come out. If a Brandon Ennis who says he's probably going to show up, we're going to have a story on him the next day or two. Like if he doesn't show up, that's not a good sign, right? So that's going to be a really interesting weekend. And of course, we'll have a full wrap up on it. It's going to be a fun Saturday for all of us and a fun Sunday for all of us. Following up on that, it's going to be a great weekend for Miami, I think. There could even be some commits out of it. You don't know. Like in the old days, like this is where you start getting your commitments, is at these weekends. You come to a junior day, you're so excited about the program. Your parents love it. They love what they're hearing. And it's like, I want my spot in this class. It wouldn't shock me if there's a handful of commitments that day. Like that's what you want to see. When kids get that excited that they say they commit, it's great. And of course, commitments nowadays, it's sort of like, going on your first date with a girl. It's like, you went on a date and you had a great time and you said, let's go on another date, but it doesn't mean much anymore with these kids, but it's still better than not having a commitment. So I'll take it.
All right. And it's not just all about recruiting and not just all about football today. CaneSport.com. The Canes basketball team's got a massive game tonight at the arena against North Carolina State. And this is the start of the ACC schedule really kicking into overdrive. Miami's 1-0 in the ACC. The conference is finally giving them favorable home games early in the conference season, something that has never seemed to happen. And they got a chance to get a little bit of a head start here. And, if that's going to happen, they do need to beat an NC State team tonight, Matt. And the one thing that really stands out to me about Jim Laranaga's team is they've seemed to steadily be getting better as the years gone on. And Laranaga seems to like his team right now.
I mean, you and I, look, we just have different perspectives. You're the optimist. I'm always the pessimist. I'm the show me guy. Like they haven't had a winning ACC season or even close to it, honestly, in 3 years. I know you say FBI and this and that, whatever. Like, I don't care about that stuff, man. Like, until they start winning in the ACC, I'm not going to say, yeah, they're going to have an ACC winning record. Like, they were still picked 12th this year in the preseason poll. They still lost to a bad in-state team. They still almost lost at FAU, allowing a big comeback, if not for a last-second Isaiah Wong basket. They've had problems on defense. There are problems on this team. And I know you said before the year they're going to be great. They're going to be so exciting to watch. And they're an NCAA tournament team. Like, I'll believe it when I see it. They should win tonight easily. NC State's not good. They have one great player. They've lost 4 of the last 5 games, including, I think, Murray State or some awful team at home they just lost to. Like, NC State's not good. So they should crush NC State. If they don't crush NC State, like, that's a red flag. And, as they go through the ACC schedule, we'll see. Like, I love what Cam McGusty's doing. Isaiah Wong has to get more consistent, but those two guys are going to be the ones that carry the team. There's no one else on this roster.
He's got to get more looks. He's not shooting the ball enough.
The best teams that make the NCAA tournament, honestly, have at least 3 really good scorers, defenders. Miami's got 2. And, like, that's just a fact. So maybe the other ACC teams are not good this year. That's going to be the key. If the ACC teams are good, Miami's going to be an average ACC team. I don't care that you think they're going to be amazing. I mean, that's just the truth as I see it. And I guess they can prove me wrong. Hopefully I spur them on to win every ACC team, every ACC game. Hopefully they watch this and like, we're going to prove Matt wrong.
They are. They are going to prove you wrong. There's 7 teams only that early in the season are still undefeated in the ACC. Duke, Wake Forest, Miami, Carolina, Louisville, Boston College, and Syracuse. Everybody else in the conference, including Florida State, already has a loss. So, yeah, I mean,
and listen, COVID might also help. Miami might get some wins by forfeit. I mean, there's almost 20 games I think forfeited already for COVID or something. I think in the last week or something. I don't know. There's some crazy number of games around the country. So far, Miami's doing really well with that.
Well, hopefully they're staying on the right side of campus, so to speak, because the football team was nailed by COVID. So I guess there's less guys on the basketball team to keep out of the way of what do we call it? Damaged air, harmed air, whatever you want to call it, infected air, whatever. It seems like everybody is getting COVID though these days. All right, so that's going to do it for today. For Good Morning CaneSport. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll come back at you tomorrow. We'll see how the Canes basketball team does tonight, and we'll talk more about it then. And until then, I'll say have a great day, everybody.